let's get started. Let me just for the benefit of our members, our guests, introduce the Trusted Referral Network. So thank you for joining. This is the Trusted Referral Network. We're a network of about 190 or so independent marketing and sales services providers, mostly agencies and consultants of up to, let's say, 20 or so people. The concept is people, networking with other people in the marketing world or who provide marketing services means they're likely to understand what you do and understand how you differentiate yourself, as long as, of course, you help them understand who your target audience is and what makes you different and how you can help them and how they can help you. And there's enough of us around the country to have these great conversations and that will ultimately build to referrals, relationships, subcontracting, etc. And the other element of this is that because we're all small, we typically have a niche or a couple of niches. And that means we can complement each other as opposed to being in, there's always going to be some overlap and some competitive situations, but there's more opportunities, I think, for collaboration, referrals, etc. So just to give people an idea as to what's going on, I got a referral just last week from somebody who is in my category, meaning that they are also a web development firm, and yet it was an opportunity that was too small for them. But we do jobs that are anywhere from $100 to a few $100,000. And then I think I referred somebody to David Libby, who is a family member, through my partner. And so that turned into a small project as well. So those are the types of things that we're hoping to nurture here. This is really an opportunity for just this meeting is an opportunity for people to meet other folks in the world of small marketing services providers. And then follow up, because a 1 minute, 1.5 minute intro is not enough. You really get to know people. Take notes. If there's somebody you want to meet with afterwards, reach out to them via LinkedIn, or I can't remember their name or whatever. Certainly connect with me. After the 15-minute presentation from Gary Haymann, we're going to go around and probably have a minute to a minute and a half each for intros. I'm going to put my timer. It'll show up in my window, and I'm going to start the timer for Gary. But let me give him the opportunity to share his screen if he wants. And Gary, do you want people to chime in or with questions, or do you want them to just drop it in the
I think for right now, I'm going to cover kind of a few things kind of quick, but we can drop the questions in and then we can get to them. So thank you very much. Love the Trusted Referral Network. So it's great to see some familiar faces and then also some new faces. What I wanted to talk about, and I know everybody's in the MarTech space, so everybody's seeing this conversation of how AI and generative AI is really just changing really everything that we kind of know, really how we work, how we live, and also how we learn. The picture that you're seeing here on the screen, are you guys able to see that?
Yep.
Yes.
This was a panel that we had at the Harvard Business School, the Harvard Club, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, where we brought 70 people in from around the world. Some of them are part of Compass UOL Group, which Edgy is part of. And 40 of them were clients from the largest brands around the world. And everybody was discussing, we had panels and we had different conversations about really just, what does this mean? How do we start to embrace it? What are some of the initial steps? And how do I start to look at, navigate these things for really large businesses from that standpoint? And what I want to do now is I want to just share a couple of slides, just 3, to kind of frame what's going on out there. Let me just do this. That little bar is in the right place. There you So I'll just kind of frame this a little. We've been in the digital marketing and kind of SEO search space since 2016. We really started with a hypothesis of understanding how Google was moving from a rules-based approach to an artificial intelligence. So we've been building AI since early 2016, and I have partners of mine that been building it way longer than that. In the process of servicing very large brands like Toyota, Lexus, British Petroleum, Caliber Collision, we developed some of our own proprietary technology. We also started experiencing and working with natural language models like GPT-2 when it started out in 2019. So really, really long time ago. Now we're part of the Compass UOL group of 6,000 digital specialists, and we're really trying to navigate this new transition for really large brands. And just to kind of frame the conversation, to kind of bring it up to present day, if we look at the 3 stages of the web, web 1 was just kind of like at the static web. You had a website, you had search engines, and you really had to unlock your own thing through generating content, and it was all based on like the site owner. Where we've been for the last like 20 years is in the dynamic web, where we really started doing commerce, social media, blogs, and we started this whole genre of user-generated content. Well, now, like right now, where we are today, we're now transitioning into Web 3.0. There was a lot of conversations around this about blockchain and different things like that were maybe Web 2 and now Web 3. This is really what generative AI has done, is really start to unlock where the web is going, and really starting to get hyper-personalized and really make things conversational. If you think about ChatGPT, it was a language model that's been around for many, many years, but until they put a chat interface for a normal person to be able to interact, it really didn't take traction. Now it's got over 100 million users. There's also right now, we're absolutely on the precipice of like the next age of kind of the web, because what's happening is they now have a chat plugin store. So these are all going to be brands that want to make their brands conversational. It's right now in release. There's about 40 apps in there that if you're an early stage developer, you can get access to. Think of, we're in the end of 2007, just about for the App Store to open. So every single brand is going to want to start to unlock this potential. What we're doing, because we are stewards in search, our mission has always been help brands stay relevant in search. We're navigating this transition for brands. So what we're doing is we're going to our brands and we're starting with creating an AI interface on a website. It's actually as easy as adding a sitemap. We're then running it through the technology platform we built over the last 5 years, which is really encryption and safety of that information. Also creating a data log and then connecting it to the language model. Today it's ChatGPT, tomorrow it's Google Bard, then Elon Musk is going to create one, Siri's going to come out from Amazon. So those are always going to change. But in order to connect to those, you're going to need a plugin. But the most important thing is that you have this, call it freeway system, to be able to control the narrative of your brand. ChatGPT's most current information is about 6 to 8 months old. What it does if it doesn't know the answer is it makes it up. It creates phantom content. Everybody's played around. Everybody's seen this. If you are a brand or a company, you need to protect your brand by connecting it to your site, having a secure gateway, and creating a way to control the user flow of data to these models and back through your organization. And then most importantly, create a data log of that information. That's how you create this hyper-personalized conversational interface of kind of the future. And so we're doing this. We're actually in beta form. We're one of the first 50 companies to have an app in the plugin store. It's called SEO.app. I'll be totally honest. In 3 days, we had over 5,000 downloads. We did an update to it to add a feature. We did not know that in the plugin store, if you do that, they reapprove it and you have to start over. So if you have early access, if you have development access and you go there right now, you can't actually access it. I'm sure that'd be solved in a few days. But we also have a waiting list of a couple thousand people. So rather than talk about it, let me show you it. So here is a demo video that I'd like to just show you on.
Get to share your audio if it's got audio.
Yeah. Let me know if you can hear it. Just thumbs up or down. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the chat here and I'll just drop my contact information. I will stop sharing. Okay, there it is. And I know I have about 5 minutes, so we can kind of open it up for questions. I know that was a lot of information kind of fast, but I also just wanted to share one thing. I don't know if anybody is going to be in San Francisco in 2 weeks, but that panel and that event was so popular. We're actually doing one in Silicon Valley in 2 weeks. So here is the sign up to join this summit if you would like. I'll be running a panel again, and it'll kind of just tell you about this, but I put this in chat as well, in case anybody is out in the Bay Area in 2 weeks.
We have a few people that live in the Bay Area, so they may
awesome.
be.
Well, here's the sign up. But yeah, I know there's a couple of minutes left. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I know that was a lot of information, but I can just tell you the SEO.app is like the most revolutionary thing for content writers and creators, because as you know, from if you've been to any of our previous sessions, we had the tool called Ink, which has unique patented scoring information. We basically turned that into a plugin, and then on top of it, we've connected it to ChatGPT. So if you thought the previous product was amazing, this is like 100x.
When you said you turned it into a plugin for what?
ChatGPT. So it now lives in the plugin store, and you can download it and use it. And I think it's important, you know, these are a lot of big terms and conversations, but the plugin store is the app store of the future. So just like in our previous life, every brand would have an app in the App Store or Android store. Now companies are going to have their own conversational chat interface that lives on the plugin store. And when you go there to do certain things, like if you type in SEO, ours should come up. If you want to get groceries, Instacart is in there. If you want travel, Kayak is in there. And it's just like ChatGPT, where you can talk to it and it'll give you a well body of information.
So Gary, it's like a chat bot. Go ahead.
What's the plug? Yeah. What's the URL, or how do you find the plugin store?
I put it. The plugin store it lives inside ChatGPT. So right now it is only open to early access developers. One of my partners is involved in that. I don't even have access, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Just he does, because he's on a leadership team with OpenAI. But in 2 days, we got 5,000 downloads. So I would assume what we're hearing is that there's over 100 million people that have ChatGPT accounts and that are using it, and they're
Oh.
going to open that plugin store to that user base in the next few weeks. So
Gary, yeah. So I have a quick question. Like the SEO.app, how different is that from AI PRM?
I'm not familiar with AI PRM, but I know that Inc., one of the things that's very different about just going to a generative AI tool like Jasper or Surfer or any of these tools, it's just generating text. This has emotional intelligence. This also has patented technology that's reading it and reading the web at the same time, and then helping you optimize, actually doing the optimization for you and the keyword research and the clustering and writing everything in real time. And it's 450% more likely to rank. So it's got built-in content mapping. It's part of the patented technology that we've developed over the last 6
So the
years.
content comes up as human when you run it through the AI checker?
It does, yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, I think we're, are we at time yet? No, we have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Anybody else have a question?
Yeah, Gary, how's the plugin store different from the App Store?
So the plugin store is a plugin for ChatGPT. So the App Store is totally different. This is going to be a new, and I'll just tell you, you're going to have these new conversational interfaces. Google's going to have one. Alexa's going to have one. Each of these are going to have their own language models, and they're going to have their own plugins so that you can get access to their interface. So what I was kind of sharing a little bit earlier about the website, the security, and then the model, that one diagram, that's just kind of where the web is going from that standpoint.
And I imagine that, you know, whereas with the App Store and Google Play, you're actually downloading an app to your device. In this case, it's really for developers to access the ChatGPT for an app or for the website or for whatever. Is that the way it works?
Correct. This will live on the web. And by the way, to hook this up for a brand, you're adding the AI interface to the sitemap. You're creating a manifest that tells it what to do. You're hooking it up to the secure platform, and then you're connecting it to the model. This is not a significant heavy lift. We've developed a lot of technology that makes it simple, but we're not talking about millions of dollars and days or weeks or months of work. It's far easier than it's ever been with apps, iOS or Android or anything like that. So it's
so when people, now that you've connected Inc. to this or made it an app, so to speak, it will still go to Inc. for all, right? It'll just be connected to ChatGPT in the back end.
Yeah, and to make it easier, we've just called it SEO.app.
I see. Okay, so SEO.app will be the site as opposed to Inc. for all.
Correct. And my information is in here. If you'd like to connect on LinkedIn, I put it in there as well. It's my pleasure to have any additional conversations with anybody interested in wanting more information.
Well, thank you so much. Always interesting hearing what's going on the leading edge of SEO, and you bring that to us on a regular basis when you show up. So that's great. I'm going to drop into the chat the order in which people showed up, more or less. Make sure your name is there. If it's there twice, I apologize. I think we're going to do, we got 14 people. Let's do a minute and a half, a minute 30. If you're going long, I will actually cut you off because we do have a lot of people here today. Yeah, if everybody would go on mute except for the speaker. So we're going to start with, that would be great because I am in speaker mode. So we'll start with people who showed up first. Mark Herre, Russ Bruzzano, Tish Gance, who was a guest. And so Mark, take it away.
Hi, I'm Mark Herre. I run a company called SEO Game, 27 years. And the pivot I do now, not like an app, but I do focus on rank delivery. So you can put as much content on a website, make it all search engine friendly, but you still, if you're a personal injury lawyer and you want to be #1 on the first page of Google, you still have to hire someone who knows what they're doing. And I do it in 30-day trials. So like if you were that personal injury lawyer in San Diego, and there's more than one PI lawyer there. If you want #1 rankings and you want that, so I work behind the scenes for digital marketing companies. And it's great, especially when I work with good content marketing strategy, and it helps with the SEO and the breadth. And sometimes PI lawyers could be working on 100 keywords with the services that are all under one price. One guy that does all the work. And hey, I put my calendar in the appointment and let's chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Mark, you might want to check out the SEO tool that Gary described to
I would
supplement.
love to. Gary, let's do a 1-to-1.
All right. Thank you so much. Down to the last 4 seconds, which is great. Up next is Russ Bruzzano.
Hi, I'm Russ Bruzzano. RGB Design's my company. I'm a graphic designer and a website designer. Been doing it for over 25 years. I'm also a problem solver. I've recently had a couple of new clients approach me with, one was with Webflow and the other one was a WordPress problem where they had some interaction that wasn't working and the people they were working with disappeared. So in both cases, I've never worked in the platform and they're like, can you help? And since I've been doing it for so long, I find that all of these programs are easy to figure out. And so I was in there and able to help both the clients, which is great because like I said, they're new clients. So that's kind of one of my specialties. I also write HTML. So if you know somebody that actually needs somebody to write the HTML and do the CSS for them, I can help you there as well. On the print side, if you can print it on something I've designed for it, so billboards, ads, logos, you name it, I do that kind of work. And again, the company is RGB Design, and I'd love to connect with anybody who'd like to connect. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. I'm not going to ask you questions because I'm concerned we're not going to make it to the end. So I will go on to Tish Gance. Welcome as a guest.
Hi. So I am a brand experience strategist, which everybody's like, what the heck is that? Basically, you can do all the SEO, you can do all the marketing, you can do all the advertising. But if the experience of interacting with you sucks, people are not going to be back. Then you have a lot of churn. And then you're having to get on the heroin drip of like all the paper clips and the things in order to keep stuff going. So when I work with clients, the first thing we're looking at is who are truly your ideal customers. Unfortunately, most businesses have really, really terrible personas built on demographics and analytics that mean absolutely nothing and don't tell you why people do what they do, what situations they're actually in, what outcomes they're looking for. Because when you design to that, you consider that, you build an exceptional experience. Typically, the work that I'm doing is with other marketing firms that need my information and the qualitative data to do their job better. It's with businesses whose websites don't work. They're like, why? Or their marketing is all over the map and they're like, I don't know if my messaging is broken or what's broken. Tell me what's broken. So we make sure everything's cohesive and working together, and at the same time uniting the sales team with this whole thing, because that's a problem too. So anyway, the LinkedIn is in the chat. Connect with me there.
Thank you. And by the way, so where are you based and how did you find out about us?
I am in Denver. I am a buddy of Keith Reynolds. He's like, oh, you should go check this out. I am very active in the networking circles here in Denver, but I work nationally, internationally. I can work from wherever. So
wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Sarita Jackson.
Hello, everyone. It was so overwhelming. Not talking about the presentation, talking about the words of one of my current clients in international trade. I'm working with a client now who was interested in importing coffee beans from West Africa into the United States and selling it here in the United States. And after about, I want to say about a year and a half of hearing the talk about how I'm interested in international trade, finally I said, okay, well, have you gotten started? What's going on? The answer was no, and that was his response. When I learned about all of the process with importing, the cost, trying to figure it out, how to sell in the United States, it was overwhelming. I didn't do anything with the vendors, my partners, nothing happened. So he brings in Global Research Institute of International Trade, myself, Sarita Jackson, to help out. And so with this client, when I work with clients that are interested in international trade, they can be US companies or companies overseas, where they want to export a good to the US or from the United States, I do customized market research and analysis, develop a strategy, and then connect them with the right people so that they can move from the idea stage to the implementation stage and compete globally. So with this particular client, I'm happy to say we're working throughout the rest of this year to get him from stage 1 all the way through the process. And the first stage was really just go back to the basics, how to get his import-export company set up. He finally got it set up. He's official, ready to go. And so now we're working on developing the strategy so that he can, first of all, understand the cost, develop his strategy around the cost, understand all of the regulations, the US regulations for importing his product into the United States, and then selling to the right people. So a lot of that research is understanding the US market and how it applies to his particular firm. But at least his success, or my success story, is he has his import-export company set up, and so we're continuing to work together. So I am Sarita Jackson, Global Research Institute of International Trade. Any small, mid-sized firms, US companies, overseas companies that need assistance with identifying markets or understanding the markets through the research and the strategy, because they don't have the resources.
Gotta cut you off. We're moving on because it's thank you. Impressive story. Love those stories. Sam Liebowitz.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Sam Liebowitz, talkradio.nyc. We're an internet radio station. We're basically a done-for-you solution for busy business owners and professionals who would like to have their own show, but they don't want to figure out the technology, how to get on all the podcasting platforms. How do I get my audio and video streaming? We do all that for them. We make it very easy for people to get up there. So they just show up, do their genius, go about their day, and we get them out on the web. We stream audio, video. The video goes to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn. And we also do a lot to cross-promote and cross-pollinate between our shows. Our hosts love doing it live as opposed to just pre-recorded because it adds an extra energy to their show. I typically work with coaches, consultants, speakers, and new authors, people who've worked on their first book or just self-publishing their first book. Great centers of influence for me are digital marketing agencies who don't do podcast production, business coaches who work with entrepreneurs and small business owners, and hybrid publishers who help people publish self-publish their first book. We've been in business over 13 years now, so we're no fly-by-night organization, and I'm happy to meet with anybody. My information is in the chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Couldn't think of that last federal government agency to eliminate. The old Rick Perry. David Libby, you're up.
Hey everybody, I'm David Libby. I'm coming to you from my iPad mini, which would explain why my head looks so small today. Anyways, stupid jokes aside, yeah, I think Tish was the only one that got that. You should see her LinkedIn profile. Everyone's LinkedIn profile should be like yours, Tish, because she's like into cats, into sewing, into Italian cars, and she's a brander, and she like removes the suck. Right. Yeah. So I'm boring. I'm just, basically, I'm a high-tech, B2B high-tech marketer, public relations, content, analyst relations. So in a nutshell, if you know of mid-sized B2B tech companies that are looking for PR, for content writing, for analyst relations, let me know. And we will kick you 10% of the gross amount of the fees we get for a year. So yeah, Michael Bendit is very happy.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So you said mid-size. Where does that start? Where does that end? Or can it be a startup that's got money?
Yeah, I mean, we do work with startups, a lot of startups, mid-size companies, but the mid-size companies have a much more robust marketing team, and they're much more dynamic with their content needs. They tend to be, individuals tend to be more focused. I know my time now, but thank you for asking.
Absolutely. And are those all edible mushrooms behind you, or are they magic mushrooms? You don't have to answer
This
that.
is my younger daughter's bedroom. I have no idea what's in here. It just has good light today.
All right. Matthew Silverman.
Hello, it's been a hot minute since I've been on. So I'm Matthew from Atlanta. I am similar to half the people on the chat. I do digital marketing also, a little bit different. A lot of my clients are agencies. I do a lot of backfill for agencies, helping them with their marketing needs. I've got a variety of clients that I'm doing Google Ads, SEO, email marketing, you name it, I've probably done it or probably work with the various different industries. So nothing really is so new to me. I like to call myself the anti-agency agency, where I'm not a Fiverr, but I'm not one of these big high-priced agencies, but still deliver the same level of service. And love to connect. And thank you, Gary, for your chat. That was really interesting.
Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Thank you for coming back. And Matthew, I've received a referral from Matthew that turned into some business, so thank you again for that. Sharon Rahmanian.
Hello, hi Michael and everyone. Happy to be here. I'm Sharon Rahmanian. I'm the founder and CEO of OneSource Labs, which is a boutique user experience research and design company based in LA, but we work with clients nationwide and globally as well. We conduct all different types of research. Recently, I got feedback that people may not know what exactly UX research is, but generally we involve the end user in the majority of our studies. We conduct qualitative, quantitative research. We can also do stakeholder and sales teams research, user experience research, or usability. The majority of that is task-based, where we put the actual digital product in front of the user and see how they interact with it. We can also do navigation research, content finding, and a lot more. Some of our ideal customers and those who we work with are generally Fortune 500 companies, digital advertising agencies, consulting firms. We also work with startups, and we make adjustments in terms of packages for them. We work cross-industry, cross-vertical. I posted my website so you can see a sample of our clients and projects. Some of the differentiators, how much time do I have? Not much, right?
1 second.
All good.
All right. Thank you so much. Does intros to other research companies, marketing research companies, is that something that would help or no?
Generally, no, because they do maybe market research because it's kind of complementary, not overlapping, but not all the time.
Okay. Stash Harrison. Stash, are you here?
He left.
He left. Okay. Scott Lange, thank you for letting me know. Scott, are you with us?
Yes, I am. I just had to unmute.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to see old friends and welcome to the new people. My business is marrying brands with stuff. Actually, it's really sports and entertainment for many years, but in the last 3 years, it's been philanthropic funding for ed tech for underserved entrepreneurs, and now I'm working with a fintech. I also represent the Manhattan Center, which many people know as the Hammerstein Ballroom for its naming rights, as well as I'm working as a consultant to a company called Grant Leisure, which is renowned for putting together the London Eye, the Legoland, and others. They are feasibility consultants And so I consult in a variety of different areas. Generally, it's still how do we find the money from brands? And in the case of my most important client right now, Marcaz, we're working with small businesses. We have 300 million businesses on the platform. The company is global with offices all over the world. And I'm focused here in the social impact lane in the United States, working with banks, CDFIs, small businesses, nonprofits, you name it. And we're making headway. Everyone who belongs to the Trusted Referral Network, I'll make another presentation and you'll be entitled to the Marcaz dashboard complimentary from me. So
wow, that's great.
Yeah, I got that green light, buddy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right,
well,
moving on.
We want some feedback. We'd like some critique.
Thank you. Roger Brooks.
Oh, hi, everybody. Roger Brooks, marketing research consultant. My work is a little bit similar to Sharon's, except that she specializes in UX research more on a qualitative level. I think I've got that right. Whereas almost all the work I do is on the quantitative side. So, for example, survey customers or targeted non-customers to capture their opinions about new products, how they stack up in the competitive landscape. An example is I'm in serious discussions with a couple of early stage companies right now, one of which is seeking funding. It's a dog collar. It's an AI-based dog collar. So they want to understand what the potential is in the marketplace. So we're going to be speaking with not only dog owners, but also interviewing dog trainers. So natural clients for me are anybody who's in the startup world. I helped build a startup with marketing research several years ago, worked with them for about 3 years. So anything in the area of new product development, understanding your competitive position in the marketplace, key strengths and weaknesses are just naturals for me. And also I do a lot of work with nonprofits, or they like to work with small guys like me, where it's much more affordable. And behind me is Paso Robles wine country, one of my favorite areas to visit. And the wine industry is a key passion of mine. So if anybody knows anybody in the wine industry, I'd be more than happy to have a chat with them.
So cool. Thank you. AI dog collar. Does it tell you, is it to translate the barks into language?
Like managing separation anxiety of your dog.
All right. Andrew Dixon is one of our guests. Andrew, you're up.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. And Gary, fantastic presentation. Roger, we should definitely talk about wine sometime. I do enjoy a glass now and again. I'm the young buck here, it would seem. So let me introduce myself. I'm Andy Dixon. I'm currently in New York City. At this point, I find myself, save you the sales pitch, I find myself looking for work. I've got experience in international markets, both in marketing, market research, research implementation, the whole 9 yards regarding that, and also with domestic clients. Got my master's degree from Quinnipiac University last year. I don't have too much of a business to talk about at this point, except for just myself, I suppose. So if you know anybody who needs a marketer, who's got international experience or domestic experience, I'm your guy.
And what was the company you were with last again? What were you doing for them?
So I was with Next Millennium Media for the last year. It's primarily a digital marketing agency focused on web advertisements, both display and video. I was on their sales end for the buy side. So if anybody knows marketing or advertising terminology, you know that that's a very specific niche. But like I said, I've got experience in international and domestic marketing, digital, traditional, however you want to put it, I can do it.
Thank you very much. All right, Jason Ciment.
Hi, so I'm in Los Angeles. I run an agency called Get Visible. I think for today, I'm just going to focus on 2 things. One, I did a webinar last week on AI for lawyers, and we're getting the recording done probably by tomorrow. If anyone is connected to lawyers who want to get a copy of the webinar and the PowerPoint, there's a lot of stuff in there for lawyers, which is I think it's pretty cool. So even now you could actually go to a website called askailawyer.com and go ask legal questions. And it's There's another one for CPAs that read the entire tax code. So the stuff that's happening in AI is pretty wild. So that would be number one. Number two is I'm a part owner in an e-commerce company. It's called Adricom. It stands for the American Dream Company. So if you have clients that are not excited by going into Shopify or the cost of Magento, which I think is 40 grand now for a license, there's an alternative which is much cheaper, and it just has the ability to do a lot of magic under the hood that you can't really do with a Shopify site. So if you have sort of a complicated e-commerce venture, love to talk. And that's it. I got plenty of time. I don't need it.
Thank you so much. All right. We're staying on the West Coast with Leslie Lawton.
Hi, I'm Leslie Lawton. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, copywriter and creative director. I have experience in almost every business sector, from healthcare to hospitality to retail to technology. I'm taking all I've learned and done, including my life experience, into a niche in sustainability storytelling. Do you know any sustainability consultants or directors? I believe they're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, and compromised. I'm here to help with that, telling their stories truthfully and fearlessly. I'm looking for those introductions, and I believe that this work can inspire and galvanize all of a company's stakeholders so they can align behind the business strategy for reducing CO2e emissions. I'll tell you what that means if you reach out to me.
CO2e emissions, okay.
Yeah, E includes methane and some other nice gases.
And all the stuff that actually impacts global warming. All right.
Yeah.
So CO2e meaning extended or something?
CO2e is the big CO2 buzzword, buzz acronym.
Buzz acronym. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nathan Segal, another guest. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I'm Nathan Segal, coming to you from Guadalajara in Mexico. My business is a book writing project. It's called How to Position Yourself as an Expert in Any Industry. And the way it works is, if you were a client, I would ask you to write down the 5 to 10 top questions that your prospects ask you. Then I'd ask you to write down 3 to 4 bullet points of actionable steps to solve that problem. I'd ask you to send the list to me. I go over it. We go back and forth until you're satisfied with it. Then I get on the phone and I interview you for the content. Take the content, record it, transcribe it, edit it, send it back to you. When you're satisfied with it, I ask you for some testimonials, your biography, a call to action, and put all of that into a book for Kindle, print, and a PDF. The idea behind it is you give the book away to your target prospects. And when they discover that you've solved some of their major problems without asking for an order, they're far more likely to want to work with you. So I work as a ghostwriter on this project. I sign an NDA, and I also provide a press release at the end of the project, so you have something ready to go for the major media. That's it.
Thank you so much. Coming from Guadalajara. Wonderful.
Yeah, transplanted Canadian.
Yeah, you skipped the US. That was a smart move. Okay. Victor Lee. Victor, are you still here? Do I see Victor? All right, I'll come back to him. Michael Korn. Are you with us? Take it now, Michael.
I am here.
All right, go for it.
Unmute didn't want to work. Anyway, I am a financial advisor. I focus on the accidental business owner, and all of you are probably wondering, why the hell is he here? A, because I've known Michael for a long time, and I grew up in advertising, and I was a marketing partner in a marketing firm, and we did some craziness in the dot-com bubble, and then I left that business because I decided to do something different. Now I help business owners organize their financial world. Most business owners I see are lacking in their full plans, is a polite way to put it. We help business owners organize their finances. We do investment, retirement, insurance planning. We supplement that with business planning issues such as buy, sell, business continuity and succession planning, and exit planning for all those guys in their 50s that need to monetize their business. I have an interesting report I posted up in my LinkedIn what is it? Get our latest special, learn the 5 biggest retirement mistakes small business owners make and strategies to address them. Check it out. If you want to talk, visit, call, calendar me. You can get access my calendar from my homepage. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Michael. Michael's very well connected in New York in particular. So great guy to connect with. Okay, Faith.
And
Tomases.
now Hawaii. I just got off the phone with Hawaii this morning.
Hawaii. Very cool.
Cool.
Faith. Are you there?
Am I muted?
You're good.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Faith Tomases. Nice to see those of you I know. I am a writer and marketing strategist. My strength is identifying what people want to say and saying it for them as quickly and succinctly as possible, which lends itself to web writing where you have to get to the point right away. And name development. I've got an extensive portfolio in name development. My theme line is on point communications, and think of a ballerina on point. When you think of that, that'll give you some visual. And my experience is generalist in a wide range of industries, and I work a lot in helping clients identify what they want to say, what's their communications problem, and I get involved with positioning also. So I put my info in the chat, and I look forward to meeting anyone I haven't met already.
Wonderful. I guess you're in a new co-working space?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Rajiv Jadhav.
Thank you, Michael. So as you can tell from my Zoom background, I'm an assassin. Now you might be wondering, what is an assassin doing at Michael Bendit's group? Well, it's very simple. I help people that are dealing with scandal, and I help them by erasing it, because that scandal is doing nothing but nastiness on your business, because people are looking at that and believing those wicked, nasty lies about you, your company, and people connected to you. And the net effect of that is they are choosing your competitors over you and not choosing to work with you. So what do? We get rid of that. And my ask is to be introduced to trusted advisors of millionaires and billionaires who do dumb shit. I don't want to meet millionaires and billionaires themselves. They're no use to me. The ones that do dumb stuff, yes. And I don't even want to meet them. I want to meet their handlers. That's who I want to meet. Just
I'll
so
take
we're
the
clear.
millionaires.
Yeah. And I'll leave my info in the chat. Would love to connect with all of you on LinkedIn. Thanks again, Michael.
I'll take the millionaires.
I wonder if that's searchable on LinkedIn. People who do dumb stuff. Okay. Joan Abraham.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joni Abraham. I'm talking to you from Detroit. I put my name in the chat without telling you really anything about myself. The name of my company is Style Branding, Inc. I come out of the fashion industry and have been working in e-commerce and online content since 1995. My gist has been to communicate to the public from the brand in an entertaining way that also enhances the brand perception and engagement. Our latest product is VidBits, and I've talked about them a lot here. A lot of you guys know all about my VidBits. For those who just joined, Tish and Matthew Silverman, I'm sort of interested in both you guys. We're launching our first client project on Friday. I'm very excited. Alan Winikoff has put together a very far-reaching PR campaign for me that will support our launch. It's a fashion client, which is great for us, will give us great fashion cred. We can tell stories for any kind of lifestyle brand. This is a fashion brand with a Hispanic tilt to it. And those of you who are on my list, I think you'll find these stories fantastic. I'm so excited about the way they turned out. I think we really did so much to launch this. Our client is a new product as well, an apparel line for targeting the Hispanic market, aspiring upscale. So look for the press, and hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll have even more exciting things to tell you.
Right. Wonderful. I guess I will go. We had somebody join named David Gilbert, but I guess he dropped off, right? I don't see him here. Okay. And it looks like Victor Lee was unable to join too. So I will go. My name is Michael Bendit. Let me put the timer on. Besides running this network, my core business is doing sales representation for software development teams. I work with about a dozen teams, and I am a go-to person to help match the client and their needs with the technical capabilities. And I mentioned technical because although my teams do design work, we're often partnering with designers, web designers, digital designers who don't have the technical skills in-house, or whose staff, their programmers, are overwhelmed or are not familiar with a particular platform. I'll give you an example of a client that we've been working with for some time now. I had one team who was creating their operations system in the back end. So they're a small company. This really wasn't a marketing opportunity, but I was introduced to them by their IT shop, which doesn't do any software development. So we upgraded that system. We also then, with another team, got involved in upgrading one of their websites. They needed to go back. This was 3 years later. Go back and tweak the operation system. Unfortunately, the team that did it originally doesn't have the bandwidth to do the work. So I'm bringing it to one of my other teams. So the idea is not to drop the ball, not to let the client, fall through the cracks, but to help them, if necessary, bring on another team to complete the work. So that's typical of what I do. I'm also a problem solver, like Russ says he is, by finding and matching the teams to the opportunity. We're pretty much down to the top of the hour. We have 3 minutes left. We do have openings coming up for showcases. Thank you, Gary, for your on-the-fly showcase. That was great.
I have to say thank you. That was wild. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll have more to share in the future.
Yeah, Gary's always got some interesting stuff to talk about.
I went and got on the waiting list in a brief moment. Thanks for sending that out.
Yeah,
I signed up originally, so I should be one of that 100 million.
Awesome.
And if any of our guests are interested in potentially joining, I guess Tish and Andrew are the remaining guests. We had one other who dropped off. Reach out. Now let's do a one-on-one, and I'll tell you more about it. And feel free to reach out to anybody on this call. Use the website as well, trustref.net. If you need resources or want to connect with people, that's what it's there for. And I think I will leave it at that. If anybody's unless anybody has comments, questions.
Yes, download the chat.
Download the chat.
Yeah.
Yes. Good time
Robbie
to do
has
that.
the best avatar ever over there. I like that.
Oh yeah. With the yellow blonde hair. Okay. So yes, if you go to the chat and you click the 3 dots at the bottom left, that's a menu. The first thing that comes up is save chat. Now's a good time to do it. It'll show up in your Zoom folder, typically under documents. And you'll have everybody's contact information who put it in there. Again, if you don't remember somebody's name, you can always reach out to me. I will post this, as I always do, on the YouTube channel. And I think that's pretty much it.
And just to be clear, that's